Welcome back, friends. Tonight's Reddit confession is a wild one. So grab your wine, grab your coffee, your tea, whatever it is that you're sipping on. Get comfy. Let's get into it. I found my wife's secret Google account and I'm sick to my stomach. I'm male, 36, met my wife Bailey, female, 33, 9 years ago through mutual co-workers. We hit it off immediately. I fell absolutely head over heels with this woman. She was everything I was looking for. I had just gotten out of a toxic, dare I say abusive, long-term relationship right before that with a woman Bailey had been acquainted with but not friends with. I had her blocked on everything. I had no contact with her since breaking up. We got married right after the tail end of the pandemic, brought our first house together, and started trying to conceive. That was difficult because Bailey has PCOS, but last year she finally gave birth to our first daughter. I'm having a blast being a dad. It's kind of a dream come true. I finally got my happy life with my perfect wife until last Monday. My laptop's battery shit the bed. So I opened up Bailey's work tablet with the attached keyboard. You know, the one you can set up like a monitor. I set it up to check on some tax stuff. She wasn't home. It was just me and the baby. But we never had to ask permission to use each other's devices. We've always been open like that. There's nothing for us to hide. That's what I thought anyway. When I opened up the internet, I noticed she had the tab in the incognito setting. Never in a million years did I expect to discover what I did. My wife has a secret Google account with a photo album called XX. So I clicked on it. Did I discover an affair? Nudes? Nope. In this Google album were over 300 photos, 348 actually, of my ex. The woman I was with right before I met Bailey. The woman who tormented me and made me feel worthless. The album said it was started right back around the time Bailey and I started dating. It was updated recently. Oh, dang. As recently as 2 weeks ago. The photos range from candid shots with family to pictures of her at work functions. There were even pictures from her yearbook. Oh my gosh. I don't know how Bailey could have found her high school yearbook photos. Photos from vacations, ID photos from work, pictures of her in crowds, screenshots of videos and screen recordings of videos. Just her. The other people in the photos would be scribbled out or the photo would be cropped and zoomed just so my ex was in it. Man, I hope you packed up that baby and you haul-assed out of that house and ran 81 countries in the opposite direction of this bitch because she sounds like a fucking psycho. There was other disturbing things I found too. There was another album with just zoomed up pictures of my ex's hair. Come to think of it, Bailey had recently started wearing her hair different, and my ex had very identifiable hair type. There was another album with screenshots of comments on social media. Of course, I can't find them because I have it blocked, like Facebook group she's in public posts. And my ex is very low-key on social media. I can't imagine the lengths Bailey went to find them. My ex literally lives in another country now. There were also very different links to the exact outfit she was wearing, like very specific blouses and trousers you'd have to really go looking to find. A specific water bottle I remember her purchasing, and identical hiking boots and sandals. Huh? Dang. So basically, my partner of almost a decade has been single white femaling my ex-girlfriend, has secretly stalked her to the point of buying her exact clothes and changing her hair. And now I'm starting to realize Bailey's new interests over the years were just my ex. Bailey has turned herself into my ex. Everything feels like a lie. Our love feels like a lie. The things we share feels like a lie. I threw up. I had a panic attack. I looked at our daughter and felt betrayed. I haven't confronted her yet. I don't know if I want to. I want to run away with our daughter. Oh, I don't blame you. I gave you that advice a little bit earlier. I want to print out all her pictures, leave them on the table and disappear. I don't know what to do. I just want to throw up. Damn, man. Yep, that is intense. Let's read what some of the comments say. Holy cow. That definitely is alarming. The best thing to do is address it now and see what will change. If she is no longer able to replicate this somewhat, the toxic side of me would slowly start mentioning things like, you know, you really do remind me of someone, and nonchalantly bite into an apple and walk away. OP said, I feel like what's worse is that she subtly made these changes over time under my nose. So my ex has a specific career and Bailey didn't express interest in switching careers to the exact same thing until after I'd mentioned what my ex did. Didn't notice at the time, but I remember telling her ex went to the school of and for that. The hair was more recent, the outfits and objects slowly over time. The interests, I'm not sure how much she's stolen personality-wise from my ex and what she actually likes. It's all incredibly exhausting and confusing, I reckon. Okay, so there was an update. Let's have a read. I'm pretty sure I accidentally got my original post removed just now because I tried to update it with a link to my update. Oops. Anyway, I'm the guy who found the Google Drive full of pictures of my ex. So, I was not expecting my original post to go viral on YouTube and TikTok and have so many responses. Yikes. I'm overwhelmed by the support. I am humbled by the number of people who have been through this experience on both sides. I have an update, but it's probably not as exciting and as juicy as you want. No, I actually didn't throw up. I was in the middle of a panic attack. Private browsing tabs were open on the websites with clothing and objects. Another tab was signed into Google Photos. When I exited the Google Photo tab to look at the website, with the clothing, it came back. It was already signed out and I couldn't get back in. A lot of the clothing I recognized wasn't because I remember my ex wearing them. There were more recent pictures of her in the file wearing them. And I remember the day Bailey brought the water bottle. That also happened to be in the folder. The hair, Bailey and my ex are the same race, and my ex wore braids in a particular way. Not so particular that it's exclusive to my ex because Bailey has worn different braids, but seeing pictures of her made me put two and two together. Is there any way Bailey could have gotten with me in an attempt to get to my ex? Was Bailey possibly obsessed with my ex before she met me? Probably not, because Bailey grew up here and my ex originally moved here for university. And while you can drive across the border, it's not that easy, and I don't think Bailey was going to go back and forth to stalk her in person. Also, the reasons why my ex and I broke up have nothing to do with Bailey, and she could not have had any involvement. On to the actual update. Finally, mate, because I tell you what, I was starting to check out. The next day, when I had calmed down, I called several social workers and therapists. I was planning to confront her there. Unfortunately, the only places that take our insurance did not have an opening for another couple of weeks. So despite what a lot of you think, I've known my wife for nearly a decade, and even while I was confused and upset and doubting things, I didn't think she'd be a danger to me. We took baby to grandma's, and I asked her to go for a walk with me. I did not beat around the bush and straight up told her I found the folder. Her face got very red and she was frozen, but also tried to play dumb at first. I was persistent and she started crying and begged me not to leave her. This is what I uncovered. Bailey first started looking up my ex out of curiosity, to keep tabs, I guess. But over time, it became more pathological. It's like she got addicted to it, but she also wanted to please me. Okay, maybe I talked about my ex a lot more than I thought, and Bailey wanted to emulate the good parts. Dude, I'm so fucking confused. Why are you talking about your ex? She told me she really doesn't know who she is, and my ex's image was something she latched onto because she had me first. Finding information out about her became a game. Finding the clothing and objects became a game. By searching things like blue water bottle, green stripe, until she would couple up and compare the products to the photo and find the exact one. The reason why I couldn't find the post wasn't because I had my ex blocked, but because my ex made a Facebook under a different name. Bailey found her profile by searching up a family member. She made fake social media and added enough mutual friends until she could see my ex's post, and until her private Instagram accepted her. She weaseled her way into her exercise Facebook group where the videos were posted and searched her school on the yearbook website to find the yearbook pictures. Over time, she just collected the images and would get excited to find something new despite the fact that my ex was extremely private on social media. The folder had originally been called Hex the Ex in case I discovered it. She was going to make the excuse of saving the pictures to put a hex on her. Well, I don't know, I feel like that's just as crazy as stalking the ex. When she made a burner Google account, she deleted the old folder and named the new one XX. Then she got sloppy and comfortable, and that's right around the time I just happened to open the work tablet. We took a break. It was a while. We made it to couples counselling, and Bailey and I also began seeing separate therapists. She still has not had an assessment with the psychiatrist, but it's on the list. She promised to stop and delete the album in front of me. Slowly, certain clothing items began to disappear from the closet. I still do not entirely trust her, and that is for me to work on. I'm afraid she has another secret account somewhere, like a backup. The physical mimicking is actually stopping though, including the hair change. We're still not okay. I want us to be okay, and it's okay if that takes time. It's okay not to be okay. If we end up not being okay, then that's something I have to deal with. What I do know is that my wife's incredibly insecure, probably mentally ill, and is misled. I don't really want to walk away from that. Although this probably isn't the most exciting update, I appreciate the private messages. I just couldn't get back to it. Reddit cares and links to resources. I'm not sure how I feel about the social media, YouTube and TikTok picking up my story though. That's wild. Until next time, if I ever get an update, I hope it's a good one. Wow, dude. That's crazy. That's a wild story.